Brian, I just want to let you know that I appreciate the effort in this thumbnail. I mean, I don't care if there's like 10 different pictures with different resolutions and different different quality just crammed in there. I like it, man. I like the passion and the fire you put into this thumbnail, man. A minus.
I mean, I can't. You gave me a compliment with that, but at the same time, you're just like, in all the different resolutions and the contrast and the thingamabob and the pudding
It's a thought
pops.
that counts, okay? It's a thought that counts.
Yeah, well, cool. All right. I say we should start the show. What do you think?
Kick it off.
All right. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. This is one of those days, I'm assuming, this is the way we all feel. It's Monday. How could it not be Monday? We're all like, F this day. It's got to be Monday. My name is Brian Paul from the channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, BR.
That's kind of how I feel today. I couldn't really get it started. Still haven't really got it started, so.
And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Dave? What is up, Gamecats? Guys, I can tell you, I was meant to be here today because we had tornadoes, we had crazy thunderstorms and floods. I just replaced my water heater, which I don't recommend doing right before Gamescast,
Or ever, really.
right before going on a podcast. But it is destiny. Today is destiny because there is stuff featuring Impulse Gear, Resident Evil, so many different things, PS5 news. I'm so excited, you guys. Are you excited? I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure.
I really hope that your enthusiasm is contagious because I need to catch it. Shout out to Jeppy Conda with the $5 tip. Somebody's got to help me with this one. Two things. One, the new Gojira album.
Gojira! Yes.
Is anyone
AJ
surprised?
knows
Yes, of
It
course.
is
AJ knows
metal.
what that is.
Go listen to Gojira, Gojira. And go listen to the new album. Wes from Virtual Strangers also listens to them. We got some metalheads in the PSVR community. Let's go.
Apparently, it's incredible. And two, I love and appreciate you. Gamecats definitely included. Thank you so much, Jeppy Conda. We appreciate you as well, and love you. Now let's try, and also with the $5 tip says, am I the only one who thinks Returnal is just another third-person rogue shooter? People are still going bonkers, and I don't see the reason at all.
So here's my question, Nihilist, for you. Have you played it, or is
Good
that
question.
something you're saying as a person who doesn't have the game and is curious about buying it? Because if you play it, you won't worry about that. I've said privately and maybe publicly here, but I think Returnal is the first actual PS5 game, and if you have a PS5, you owe it to yourself to play it because just it's super good. And
I'm going to pick it up.
it might look a certain way. You might think it's some repetitive little whatever, but like it is so satisfying to play. You won't have any problems. I'm telling you.
I got it for free with Amazon Bucks. That's the only reason that I purchased
nice.
it.
That's cool.
It will be here tomorrow, so I will have some impressions by Wednesday, I'm sure. I only because I need to kick Will's ass. Like, that's the only reason I picked it up. Will's like, look how good I am. And I was like, F you, Will. Let me show you how good I am. I know.
Dude,
he's
Will
amazing.
is low-key a super good gamer.
I know.
Yeah, he said he beat the first 3 biomes or first levels or whatever,
Bosses,
which is 3
yeah.
bosses
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he doesn't brag about it.
Without
First try.
dying. It's crazy. I haven't found the first boss yet.
He is secretly,
suck at
whenever
this game,
whenever
but I
there's
love
like something really challenging or something like when Crescendo of the Blood Moon came out, Will was the only person that I could make progress with, and then we got the Liminator in on it too, and then we ended up beating it. And that shit's hard. I know it's like Rec Room. I know a lot of kids play that game. Rec Room quests are hard. They are difficult and challenging. So that's why I always pack a spare Will and Jason with me.
Pack a spare Will. I wish I could pack a spare Will. Yeah, so Returnal. I can't wait to play it, man. I'm very excited. I haven't really played like a real PlayStation 5 game yet, so
It's like Farpoint, but not VR. I'm cool with it. It's like Farpoint and Near
not like
Automata.
it's not like
I'm gonna
Farpoint.
say that doesn't sound right at all.
I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to it though.
Excellent. Guys, we got so much stuff to talk about today. I feel like we should probably get the ball on the roll, road, the game on the track, and say that, you know, some housekeeping here that we should probably address and make sure that everybody joins our Discord. That link is in the description below. And guys, if you didn't know, there's a better reason than ever to join our Discord, and that's because PlayStation, our first news story, is partnering with Discord, as we found out over on the SIE blog today from Jim Ryan himself. This was coming hot off the tail of everyone thinking that Microsoft was buying Discord. And it's like 3 days later, guess what? Not true at all. How cool do you think this is going to be for us?
I've been wanting this forever. I can't wait for an integration so we can, like, imagine how much easier streaming with people will be if you have an app on the PS5. You just go, boom, go live on Discord with my chat pals, and we'll hang out in voice chat, and anybody can do it without a capture card, no fancy setup or anything. Like, that'll be great. And just having voice chat available through Discord while you're playing games, hopefully that'll be a thing. You know, Sony's party system this gen is kind of funky. It's kind of weird building parties with people and stuff. Good. It's not very good. So if Discord fills that gap, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And Xbox has already had Discord integration forever. So it's about time we got it too, you know.
We used to use, when Parole was formed, when the Gamecat community originally originated from, was the PlayStation Communities tab. And what made it so significant at the time was that it had an app that you could use on your phone. So that's what the majority of us used, at least what I did all the time. It was just like texting with the Gamecats and stuff.
Because it sucked using it on the console. Big time.
Yes. Yeah, typing on a console is not fun.
No.
But once, you know, I think we owe J Meow a little credit here for kind of
basically all the credit.
For recommending, helping us get it started. And that literally saved our community, because not only did it like preserve a place where we could come and hang out together and talk, but the tools that it has, the integration and stuff of being able to make different channels for different topics. You know, we have a general, we have a PSVR, PS5, we have other headsets, we have retro, flat screen stuff, everything. So there's like something for everybody there, hopefully. If not, you can always ask us and or one of the mods can always add to it. But yeah, this time, or not this time next year, but they say beginning early next year is when the popular communication service will integrate with your social experience on PlayStation.
Yeah, and some of the cats were talking on Discord today in general, saying that the Xbox integration isn't all that good. Shout out to Justin Credible for that information, saying that like there's voice chat, but not a whole, like, it's not like fully integrated. And so I think PlayStation might be hopefully diving a little bit deeper and making it fully integrated to have, you know, to have voice chat and and based the full app. You know, how amazing would that be as part of the like integrated into the PlayStation 5 firmware? I don't know. Can you do that? Of course you can do that, right?
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have seen all the feedback that they had, because they're, you know, as much as I love my PS5, a lot of the stuff is not like. Usually when you went from PS3 to PS4, all of the features, all of the everything was pretty much better. Even if it was just slightly better, It was better. And this is the first time that was interesting to me where, and it's probably, you know, circumstances are all related to that, but to the pandemic and stuff. But this was the first time that I felt like the PS5, like integration, like the features, the organization of everything was actually worse than the PS4. So I'm wondering if either they got the feedback or if they maybe just didn't have a solid plan in place, and now they've got this deal going. I'm really hoping that this integrates well into the PlayStation ecosystem and really, you know, I want to be able to, I'm looking forward to potentially using Discord within our headsets, our PSVR 2 headsets and stuff, and you from the consoles and stuff instead of having to use a PC.
Guys, real quick, let me get these tips.
Sanity check. Oh, hold on. Sorry. This might be... I'll wait for after the tips. Okay, go ahead.
Jamie with the $5 tip says, Discord and PlayStation are huge parts of my life. So pumped they're coming together. I 100% agree. This is, you know, I play games on PlayStation pretty much only, except for when I'm retro gaming it up, and when I'm talking to everybody. I barely even leave our Discord server. Forget about going to other Discords. Red Rover, the effing Gamecat, what's up, dude, with a $10 tip, says, howdy, popping in to say hi and tip before popping out to my next meeting. Oh, and Darguns.
Darguns.
Thanks, dude.
Gojira and Dargun.
Yes, I want Gojira to make a song called Darguns.
Do you think this move is, and in also getting rid of the movies and rentals and stuff like that on PlayStation 5, do you think this is Sony kind of recognizing what they're good at and what they're bad at and saying, these people over here are doing it so much better than us. Let's just go with them. You know, it's like Amazon's doing movies better, Hulu's doing TV better, all of these different streaming services, Netflix, of course. And so just saying, well, why are we trying to do this relatively unsuccessfully? They're saying, like, we recognize our downfalls, and let's, instead of trying to fix it and make it super expensive and, like, you know, ruin, you know, like make like just all these jobs and stuff that are just like going and making stuff that like isn't really, people aren't gravitating towards. Like, let's just do this thing that everybody's already gravitated towards, and let's just go with Discord. Do you think that's what they're doing here as this generation?
Certainly some kind of opportunity in this partnership that they see beneficial to themselves. And yeah, I mean, I definitely think they should lean on services like this, and cut some deals like this if they can help themselves out. Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of the stuff that they came up with themselves for the PS5 has not been very good.
Yeah. What I'd like to see, first of all, is bring back the ability for people to watch 3D Blu-rays on their PSVR.
Yeah.
Because why not? That seems like it makes sense. And then I'd love to see someday like an integration with the video services, like the Netflix's, the Hulu's, the Prime Videos, whatever, where you have like a picture-in-picture thing on your PS5. Like in the corner, you got a little stream going of whatever you feel like watching. And then you're playing your roguelike or whatever in the main screen. You can just kind of pop in and look at stuff. I don't know why they don't have that. It seems like it'd be pretty easy to run a stream of YouTube in the corner and like not take up too much resources. But
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But we'll see what they actually do. Shout out to you, Stay Frosty, with the $2.79 donation, saying, for Brian's recovery fuel. I definitely need a lot of recovery fuel today, for sure. Well, this is exciting, guys. This is definitely exciting news. I feel like Sony's kind of on the right track, and again, just doing what it takes to, you know, replace the communities in the best possible way. I think this is a great move.
Yeah, communities, as simple as it was at the time, it was pretty great. So, you know, and I really think they took some massive steps forward, like I said, from PS3 to PS4 about the share features, stuff like share play that wasn't there before. Despite me not using share play a whole bunch, it's still a great feature. I think it's way better than the stuff like the whole giving your game tips thing that they're trying to do now. Mm-hmm. Like I'd be really surprised if anybody has like even uses those like tips that they the UI
stuff that the UI stuff that I thought was going to be really cool. The cards where it's like, oh, you can jump to a certain mission in a game and you just pop up the card and jump right to that challenge. I've never used that one single fucking. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about it anymore, even though it's in my face. Like the cards are so big and they take up so much screen space, and I never look at any of them. I overlook them.
Just let it out, Dave. Just let it all out. We know. We're here with you. We're
they suck. Yeah, that's all.
Right on. Well, excellent news, guys. Excellent news. So much better than if Microsoft bought them. Who I think would be in a much different position as far as integration goes. Guys, again, a ton of news to talk about today, but before we get into it all, I do want to check in with one of our listeners, Daniel Williams, who wrote on our Layers of Fear VR review. He said, I've got a bone to pick with the launch trailer Sony put out for this game. The footage is clearly PC gameplay capture. Are there any other PSVR trailers that did blatant false advertising like this? Am I overreacting? I don't know. It bothers me just enough to want to talk about it. Hashtag viewer takeover.
I think it's definitely something that should be taken pretty serious, actually, and should be. I think it can have that effect of false advertising under that pretense where, yeah, I mean, you see something, you get really excited about it, and then you play. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. The trailer does look really, really good. So, and then you get into the game, and it is drastically different. Luckily, most developers we've talked to are and especially Brian, whenever you get gameplay footage from them, most of the time, if it's ready, then they will provide us with PSVR footage, or else we say no deal.
Yeah, and one thing to keep an eye out for too is like real Sony trailers. Arc Park is a good example, yeah. But real Sony trailers that use real PSVR footage almost always somewhere in the trailer have a little thing at the bottom saying where it was captured.
Right.
Captured on PS5, captured on PS4, whatever. They have some disclaimer of where this came from, what you're looking at. And if you don't see that, maybe it's not from a PlayStation. So just keep an eye out for that little indicator, because they'll tell you when it's actual footage.
I think that's on the developer though.
Oh yeah, this isn't Sony. This is definitely it was probably debuted on the PlayStation channel, YouTube channel. But I would assume that most responsibilities for trailers comes from the developers themselves, or the publishers, obviously. And this one's a strange example. This is a combination of real footage, like film. What's the word I'm looking for? Full motion video.
CGI?
I'm no, not CGI. CGI is the
like
opposite.
Night Trap.
It's right. It's real film, right? It's like we're looking at like a real person in real life putting on the headset. So it's a combination of that, and then a little bit of mixed reality, and then a little bit of it seems like either PC footage or just footage from the flat screen version. I think that's what he was Daniel Williams was getting at. He was like, "Oh, it looks like the PC version," and yeah, but maybe not even the PC VR version, just like the flat screen version, because when you're in the room there with the with the canvas and everything, the background is so detailed and there's so much stuff going on, there's so much color that like just doesn't exist in the PSVR version. And then they do get in some PSVR footage in there. You can just tell because it's so bland and lifeless. And so, yeah, I think this is a problem, but this is a problem that's been going back a long time, as AJ sort of pointed out indirectly. They've been throwing CG into trailers for like ever, right? We never know what's real and what's not, and usually they do put it on the bottom of the screen, but they definitely didn't this time around.
No game is real, but they're willing to let you know. Yeah, it's important to at least, like Dave said, have that disclaimer at the very least, and that's why people are. This is not something new, like you said too. This is why people, whenever there's a CGI trailer, people don't get hyped about it, because they know that the game could look drastically different, and we've been fooled so many times over the years. So this is nothing new, but yes, it is important. And I think if like one or two, get by with doing this, it's like whatever, shame on you, slap on the wrist. But as long as this isn't like a standard. But I think people are well aware. They've smartened up these days that to make sure that it's actual gameplay. That's why people love gameplay so much. And I agree. Gameplay is like an art to me. It's so beautiful.
So there's a little discussion.
You're gonna love Returnal. If gameplay is beautiful and it's an art to you, you're gonna love Returnal. That's so hard.
There's a little discussion happening in the chat that I kind of love, and it's between Jay Meow and a developer over at Skydance Interactive.
Matt.
Talking about the CG trailer for Saints and Sinners, that is beautiful. I'm going to bring this up real quick here because I think it's a beautiful, beautiful trailer, but at no point does it show any gameplay footage.
I love, dude, that cinematic trailer brought a tear to my eye.
Right, and at least it's called cinematic trailer, right?
Right.
And I think it's beautifully done. I think the music is amazing. The visuals are fantastic. And at no point does anybody look at this and go, "Wow, that gameplay looks amazing." It's just clearly not. And then again, calling it cinematic trailer, I think keeps everyone in the up and up.
Yeah, but that's why that was the whole thing about After the Fall. We were like, "Show us the gameplay, show us the gameplay," because we want to see it. We want to see the game running on a console, on a system and stuff, and whatnot. Mute your phone, Dave.
Sorry, I'm checking for storm alerts because it looks like it's raining outside.
Yeah, I know. There's the hell on earth happening outside. Yeah. It's all good.
I can't wait till hell on earth gets up here to the north because it's boring and sunny out right now, and I can't stand it. It's terrible.
So, quick thing I want to call out from chat. Also, Hard to Get says, conspiracy theory, Facebook paid Capcom a lot of money to not release any other VR Resident Evil in other VR platforms for a time. It's funny you say that because one of our later news stories directly goes against that theory. Yeah. So not to spoil too much, but stick around because we usually talk about that later.
It's paying for an exclusive, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Yeah, right before we get to that, though, I do want to say, and this is going to be a real quick one, guys. They did Motion X Studio, right? Developers behind Dash Dash World released a new trailer today, and it is looking pretty awesome. It's technically for Dash Dash. The big update, version 3.0. Let's bring that trailer up. Now, if you've been watching Without Parole for a while, there shouldn't be any surprises here, because for PSVR AF, April's PSVR AF at the beginning of last month, we actually showed off a quick clip of both of these new maps, the new cash gun, and we said that there'd be 8-player cross-play with other headsets. So we debuted all of this before, but this is the first time Motion X Studio is saying it themselves officially, and it's a nice, shiny new trailer. Did you guys watch this? What do you think?
Yeah, I saw like laser beams shooting around and stuff. The new levels look really cool. And I know like there's still ones that they had experimentally that they were working on that might be included in like the base levels even before these new ones that some people might not have seen yet. So I don't know. As Void in the chat says, Dash Dash is stupid awesome. It really is. It's stupid awesome. It's super fun.
Good, man. It's the very first, like, once we get it on the PSVR side, from what I played of it, seems to like it's definitely promising to be this very first, like, for real fun kart racer that anybody can enjoy, and it's in VR. And I'll tell you what, I really like the all the other stuff is cool. I'm really excited about the cross-platform play because I feel like VR is something that could really use cross-platform for its multiplayer for now, and there shouldn't be like a huge advantage or disadvantage for the most part, hopefully. Anyways, that's usually one of the problems is stuff like that. But yeah, and it talks about full offline mode and stuff. Single player, I love single player games. So
new campaigns. I love campaigns. I love unlocking every little bit that they give you. Just going through, checking off all the boxes.
I'm not the most social creature, so I like single player campaigns. I like Mario Kart Cups where you'd have to try and get first to get all the prizes or unlocks and stuff. And for me, that's great. But I'll play with the cats, though. The cats are the best.
Absolutely.
Who was the one that was like kind of open world in between? Like, was that Diddy Kong? No, there was one where you had like
Crash Team Racing had
Crash Team Racing.
Crash Team
Crash Team Racing on PS1 is probably still one of my favorite kart racers ever.
Yeah. I bought the PS4 remake of it. I just nobody ever played it, so I didn't play it.
I didn't do it. because I was so upset. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to add VR to Crash Team Racing, and they didn't do it. I said, come on, guys. Come on. Real quick, Scott Jestico, probably future Scott Jestico, PSN Harry Fellow, PSVR, Gamecat for Life, with a 2 quid donation saying, better do Brian's job. Hit that like, subscribe, meow. Thank you so much. I hate doing the thing. I hate doing the YouTube thing. But hey, click like. If you don't subscribe. We do this all the time. Come hang out with us. We love you.
It's hard for Brian to say that, so do it.
And if you don't like it, get the hell out right now. Just leave. The door's right there. You know where the X button is on your browser.
7 people just click dislike and X out.
See ya.
Also, Loop for the Gamecat with the €5 donation just came through. I'm watching old top 25 debates. It's fun to watch Dave convincing AJ to place No Man's Sky higher on the list last summer.
Little did he know that he would become the biggest No Man's Sky fan in the world.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, the last thing I want to say about the new Dash Dash World 3.0 trailer, they did show that you can grip the steering wheel. So that is one of their new control methods for playing the game, which I don't know if I've seen terribly successfully. I guess LA Noire, the VR case files, did it really well. But still, it still felt like you were driving like a big boat down the street, because that's basically what it was.
I would end up going with DualShock if that's the case.
I thought they already had that. I already played the immersive mode. It's not, you don't have as much as an advantage. Like, it's a little bit tougher, but it's 10 times more fun. And I placed first before a couple times with it. So yeah, the hard part is not necessarily the steering wheel. They did a great job with that. The hard part is sometimes hitting that boost button. Sometimes the boost button reaching down and stuff is a little clank.
Well, also try to use weapons. If you've got 2 hands on the wheel, most of the weapons are controlled with your hand, right? So you got to take a hand off the wheel and try and shoot guys like that.
Yeah. Which is fine. Yeah.
But from a competitive
advantage
thing, it's a little bit less.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know out there, again, one of the other things we mentioned during PSVR AF, if you guys didn't watch PSVR AF, go back and watch. Still 3 pretty good episodes I think we threw together. A lot of fun. One thing we did say was an updated release window on this game because of COVID, because of there was a delay trying to get cross-platform up and running, or on the PlayStation side, getting that through to PlayStation. There's a little bit of a delay. So instead of a Q1 release, which obviously isn't happening, it's going to be late Q2, which there's not really a lot of time left in either, right? It's like, that means it's going to be released by the end of next month or so. So yeah, I don't think we're far.
It still feels like a proper fall release to me, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey.
So people are talking a little bit about touring carts versus Dash Dash. Some people, I guess only one person really prefers touring carts over it. But as far as content and unlockables go, Ryan, there's a lot to unlock as far as I've seen in Dash Dash World. There's a ton of different cars. There's a ton of different wheels. There's a ton of different outfits. Horns, all sorts of stuff you could think to customize. There are a lot of them to get. So I'm not sure what you mean as far as unlockables. Like, I can't see how touring carts would be that much better in this case.
It's so much more than that too. Like, I mean, like every single one of these tracks in Dash Dash it feels like a Mario Kart track because the entire thing is just all original. And I felt like a lot of what touring carts was doing was like, okay, plop down an environment and then draw like an F1 track around the entire thing. There's so much more polish, and it's just everything just feels so much more curated. Might be the word in Dash Dash.
Well, and I also Dash Dash nails the drifting mechanic. And when I play games that are like this, I need to have a solid drifting mechanic because that's the fun for me.
Yeah,
I want to be sliding around every corner, building up my boost, popping the boost into another drift. Like that's the fun of Mario Kart to me. And Dash Dash does that really well. I didn't appreciate that nearly as much in touring carts. It didn't feel as right. Like when it feels like Mario Kart, you've done something right.
It feels a little almost too much like Mario Kart. It does that shit where you're like first the entire race, and then at the very end you get hit with like 50 things, and then you end up like 7th. And I'm like,
I've cursed people out so often in that game in multiplayer.
So infuriating.
Stingray says, "Wait, what about VR carts? What about VR?"
Oh,
carts? Never heard of it.
No, we're not talking about VR carts. That game is fucking hot trash. I wanted to love that game so much, but even like 200cc is like, it's like going 5 miles an hour. It's the worst thing ever.
Sometimes I struggle to respect perp games just because they released that physical, and I'm like, why did you do that? Why would you do that? But
I'm definitely a fan of touring carts, but it didn't go full kart racer enough. So
no, I agree.
Dash Dash is full Mario Kart style racer.
Yeah. Kane Ellis in the chat says, hello, what's up with the thumbnail? Thanks for tuning in, because it's time to talk about the thing in the thumbnail that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in. I know I'm interested in. It turns out that our wish for Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, to come to VR, that dream is not dead. Did you guys...
it was never dead.
Well...
I never let
Who said it was dead? Yeah. I said it was dead for PSVR 1.
Okay. You really killed the transition there. The segue just died right in front of you.
Terrible segue.
Yeah, horrible. So as it turns out, there's a bunch of some leaked documents that went out into the world, and it turns out that there's actually been quite a bit of talk about VR behind the scenes between Capcom and Sony. Did you guys read all this stuff?
Yeah, can we point out that this is also...
It's contractual. It's written down in a contract. This isn't just, we'd like to do this thing.
Yeah.
That is legal language.
Before you explain what's going on here, Brett, I must say that this comes from Distrito XR, and it's run by Max Ledroom, my dude.
Oh, that guy.
Shout out to Max Ledroom on Twitter. He's my bud, man. So I want to make sure we source him and give him his credit.
Shout out to Max Ledroom, except the original story, we got to give credit where credit's due, came from VR Player in France. He was just reporting on VR Player's article. So shout out to both those guys. It was because of Max Ledroom that I found the original article. So thank you very much, Max.
Yeah. We help each other out.
So the document in question, I think hopefully I get this right. It says it's a 1.10 hardware bundles and franchise products. The SIE affiliates, that's Sony of course, shall have the exclusive right of first negotiation and last match for A, any hardware bundle that includes the game, and B, any sequel, prequel, spin-off, or other game product related to the Resident Evil franchise, including Project Highway, which is supposed to be the multiplayer thing, or any VR versions of the game that publisher intends to develop or publish, or which publisher intends to license to any third party to develop or publish on any competitive platforms for any bundle or franchise product expected to be released by publisher or any third party, the following terms will apply.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, I'm Googling this because I don't know if anybody knows anything about contract law or how these things are written or anything, but there was a phrase in there, right of first negotiation with last chance or last choice. What is it? How did they phrase it?
Let me bring it back up. The last...
right of first negotiation with...
in the last match. So I basically think that I saw this written down somewhere a little bit differently, somewhere else. And the clarification for that is that they get to... They're the last people that Capcom meets with. Sony is the last people that Capcom meets with before making any decisions.
And the first people they meet with.
And the first people, yeah, absolutely.
So I will say that this isn't 100,000% yes set in stone that they are doing this, because it just says, hey, if we want to do this, you got to stick with us, pretty much, or at least let us take a good swing at it. Let us give you our best offer at the beginning and the end of the process. And so that means, they're committed, but this isn't exactly a commitment that it has been funded and is getting made or anything like that. But it's still in the right direction. I like the idea of it.
There was definitely heavy rumors, the same rumors from Aesthetic Gamer that predicted every single thing about Resident Evil Village, from it being called Village to the setting to the characters to everything taking place, the enemies and stuff. The one thing that didn't actually come through was VR. And why? I'll tell you why. Because basically they just got, we've said this before, they just barely got the PS4 version working. And so, and I think Sony has kind of changed its mentality of, like, we really want to bring a next-gen experience to PS5, to PSVR, and stuff like that. And I think they know that even if they gave it their best shot on PSVR 1, it wouldn't be what they have the opportunity to do, which is make it with PSVR 2. So I firmly believe, and I will take any pizza bets that come my way, that it will be a PSVR 2 launch title.
I'm with you. Yep.
And it'll be shown when we get the first reel of games. If by that point we don't, if they're showing off PSVR games, PSVR 2 games, and Resident Evil isn't mentioned, then I'm gonna be like, ooh, something went wrong. Something is not right, unless it's just delayed. But yeah, when we first get the headset and the games lineup announced, along with Gran Turismo 7, we will have Resident Evil 8. Mark my words, or bet me a pizza.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many other things that back this up. Obviously, there's nothing here saying, as Dave already sort of pointed out, there's nothing here saying there's a VR version in production. It's just saying that, hey, we wrote this into the contract, and obviously Sony's going to want to be pushing PSVR 2 as much as possible when that thing rolls around, when they're ready to announce it or ready to reveal the first line of games up for it. Or at launch, just to make sure that they have the strongest push possible. And so since this is something everybody's been asking for, like, why wouldn't they be doing that? We've already seen that Capcom and Sony have an amazing relationship because of Resident Evil 7 and how well that was received. And don't forget that, I think Daniel Williams mentioned this in the chat, that when the playtesters went to play Village, they asked the producer about VR support. And the producer said, yes, but we have to wait for Sony on that to say anything publicly. And so even then, like, this contract was written up in May of 2020, I believe. In the playtesting thing, that happened, I believe, after this contract. And so it all lines up, right? PSVR 2, absolutely. A lot of people saying, hey, why would you guys wait and not play this amazing game outside of VR, right? So many people asked about that. They said, what if it doesn't come to VR? You're not going to play this amazing game. And the fact is yes, for me personally, I'm not going to play this amazing game unless it comes to VR. And now it feels, but at least now I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure it's fucking coming to VR.
It is.
So,
it's VR one.
Yeah.
Right.
So Vincent Vesper, I don't agree with the first part of your statement here, but I can answer something for you. He says, I would get a different VR headset before PSVR 2. I wish I got an Oculus instead. Okay, whatever. PSVR 2 is going to kick ass. Wait and buy that. But he says, does anyone think they will release something for Oculus since RE7 was one of the best PSVR games?
No.
They've announced, and we covered here, that they are doing RE4 on Oculus.
Yeah.
And this actually leads me to something that I wanted to mention. There's another comment about, I hope they use the orbs. I didn't like the DualShock 4. That was taking me out of the immersion and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they're bound to, just because like if they get the experience of working with tracked hand controllers on their RE4 port, slide that into RE8, and you've got your interaction system already built in the RE engine, just you're good to go, right? Like there's not that much difference between the two controllers from what I've seen of the orbs and the Quest controllers or whatever. Like they got the same buttons on them. So it'd be pretty easy one-to-one to take that knowledge and just push it forward to the RE8 with the motion controllers.
I absolutely expect it to have the orb integration similar to the RE4 remake, how they redid the menus and stuff. These companies and stuff are starting to realize what gamers want, what gamers and VR enthusiasts want, and that is that hybrid between total immersion and interactive elements of the game, and then just like full-length games and great games, and there's a huge library to pick from. There's a huge opportunity for new IPs to be created. There's a lot of stuff. So we've said it over and over for the last 4 years. Like this was like VR in its infancy, just almost like as like a pilot or like a test phase, and it passed. It passed gloriously, and now we've like this is the beginning of the new gen. We haven't even fully kicked off things and seen where it's going to go, and that should have you very, very excited.
Yeah, anyone who's playing this on the flat screen, knowing that it's coming to VR, is out of their fucking mind. Because as we all know, Resident Evil 7 was 100,000 times scarier in VR. And if you played it on the flat screen first, then that scariness in VR was lost on you, completely lost, because you knew it was coming. It's the mystery of the unknown. If you're too chicken shit to play it in VR, I'm sorry, but like this is the ultimate way to play it, and that is worth waiting for. Also, just getting back to the orb question that Dave mentioned.
Orbs, J now.
Orbs.
Every VR game is going to use these things. These are your VR controllers, right?
Yeah.
Sony was never proud of the moves. I mean, outside of maybe the PS3 days when they launched. No, but that was it. It was like during when they were the moves, right? Not your VR controllers. They were never proud of them after the PS3 era. It was like, oh, we have these laying around. These things work. That's cool, right? But they are so proud of these orb controllers. They're so proud of the adaptive triggers and all the technology that's in there that like they are going to be pushing this and being like, yes, absolutely, every single VR game use these things because this adds so much immersion to what you're doing.
Right. There's no need for a DualShock. There's no need for the DualSense. There's no need for. Well, I mean, some games could maybe use the DualSense. We could potentially see that, but you're certainly not going to need. That's why we keep getting asked about like a second aim controller, and I'm like, I wouldn't count on it right away because you can do a lot of what, like the aim controller was great because of the moves lacking joysticks and certain features that were needed in order to have like fluid gameplay and stuff and holding rifles. And with the orbs, I don't think that's going to compensate for so many different things. Maybe we get an attachment, maybe we get a standalone game, a gun or something, but I wouldn't count on it at least for the first couple years, only if there's like just such an excess of stuff. But no, I think they're going to try to utilize those new controllers as much as possible for every single game. And that's going to be a staple of this generation.
You got to think too about the user base and like on PSVR 1, what people have and what they have access to controller wise makes a big difference in who your potential market share is. Because if it's an aim only game, a lot of people still can't find an aim anywhere. Right. Like it's still hard to find one. And sometimes the moves can be really like out of stock in Europe. I remember for months and months, people were saying, I can't find them anywhere. I'm getting price gouged. This is crazy.
Yeah.
If they move to a system like Oculus has, where you just get a set of controllers with the headset and everyone has the same exact set of controllers for every game, you've completely solved that problem. Because it is a problem. Like, there are plenty of people who say, I want to play this game, but I don't have an aim. Is it worth buying? And I'm like, probably not, actually. Right. Like, just wait till you have an aim. and that won't be an issue anymore because we'll all have the same stuff.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
that's what I see coming down the line. And that's people will miss the aim. I'll miss the aim, but I think it's better for us all to do it that way.
Absolutely. Jamie out with the $2 tip says Vader and MRI are playing RE8 flat. Shame them. I'm not shaming them. I also don't think it's true. I think those guys might be waiting. And no offense to anybody who doesn't want to wait. It's like if you love Resident Evil, I get why you'd want to play it day one. But man, I just want the absolute best possible experience, the most immersive experience. Resident Evil 7. All these years later, still the best PSVR game by a mile in my book. By miles, gentlemen, miles, and by miles, Matt. And so
It's great.
yeah, and so if this is a launch title, then I mean, like, fucking awesome, man. I can absolutely wait. I'm holding off on Alex too, just in case. MRI Gamer with the $5 tip says lies, Jamie. I will play it when it comes to PSVR 1. I'm holding out hope. I love you guys. Fucking awesome. Thank you so much. All right, enough of that though. More wild, random speculation, but I love every second of it. I cannot wait until this is all set in stone.
Yep.
Guys, but what is about to be set in stone, fucking segues, man, don't ruin it for me this time, is the next game by Impulse Gear. We are about to hear from Impulse Gear this month what they've been working on.
Woohoo!
How-
Man, I was just playing Farpoint this weekend, and it was so much fun. Thank you guys for requesting. I know I cut you off, but man, this is my game. This is the one. I love Farpoint. I love Impulse Gear so much, man. And I know it's. I'm sorry for cutting you off. But,
no, I get it. You like Farpoint.
But oh my god, I have to fight with you guys to keep this game even on the damn top 25 list.
Yeah.
That's a good
Shame
game.
on you.
I never
Shame
wanted
on
to
you.
leave. I don't want it to leave.
This game means so much to me. It really does. This game, it's like AAA quality storytelling and everything. That experience that people love about flat screen games these days, what God of War brings, what Spider-Man brings, that is like what Farpoint brought to me for PSVR Gen 1. It means that much to me. So forgive my excitement.
Well, they also brought us the aim controller too.
They did too.
Develop it. So
Brian,
that's huge.
back to business, bud. What is this? Tell me about all this conspiracy theory stuff going on. I want to hear it. I'm excited.
I'm actually reading the article right now. I got to be honest. This all came through. This was actually posted on May 1st, but it's been a busy weekend for me, so I'm just actually reading the article now.
Just a disclaimer out there, guys. It's not a conspiracy theory. I know you said that, AJ, but it's on their blog.
Yeah,
They're saying it, so we're not coming. We speculate a lot.
Here it
this
is.
them actually saying themselves something.
So they say they've got a picture of a whiteboard, which is, I mean, very not helpful whatsoever. But I'm sure there's hints in there. But they also, but they said, you might ask, when can we see? This is their most recent blog post on May 1st. So make sure you head on over to impulsegear.com to keep up with them. You might ask, when can we see what you've been working on? And the answer, May in capital letters. Be soon. Until then, it's classified. May in capital letters. So it's
on the horizon.
It's exactly what I was thinking of when I saw this. Now, when you click the whiteboard, it brings you to. You guys might remember the last time we they had this kind of like weird audio track, like this weird reveal where it was like, like what the hell are we listening to? Well, you click on
like a transmission or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's space?
Yeah, and it sounded like a horror title, honestly. Like it didn't, or just like a messy transmission, really difficult to figure it out. I see more Gamecats with the $2 tips. I'm scared to hit a wall with the orbs. They do look like they're gonna break if I hit something too hard. Let's hope that's not the
I just hope
case.
that they're a little more
They will break
rubbery
through
than
the walls.
because the Quest controllers are very hard plastic, and if you smack the wall with that ring, I've seen them crack. Like it looks bad. But if they had like a sort of a rubberized, like ruggedized, like so you could hit a wall and it wouldn't crack the thing, but it would just sort of like bend out slightly. That's what they are.
So getting back to it, what happens when you click that whiteboard, you ask? Well, it brings up this new SoundCloud. And I want you guys to listen to it. It's actually playing right now, but I'm going to put up the volume so we can hear it from the beginning.
I know what he's talking about. Como un loco.
Everyone hold on tight. We'll be passing through the Karaz belt in a moment.
So, what's your name?
That information is classified.
Okay, then, where are you from?
Also classified.
Seriously?
Classified.
It's come to my attention that some ammunition has recently gone missing. Ammunition is for heist, not hoarding. Do you hear me,
So I
Evander?
assume it's done by now, Brian.
I don't know what she's talking about.
She's
I'm
talking
actually
about
listening
you.
to it.
You're trigger happy.
I know what she's talking about.
Come on, loco.
There we go. Now it's
Okay.
done.
So I don't know how I listened to it after you did and finished before you, but okay.
Now, so
Um,
there's a line in there where this lady says ammunition is for, and tell me if I get this right, because it was kind of blurry
Fighting?
here, but for heists, not hoarding.
Oh, I thought you said fighting,
She said-
not hoarding.
I think she said ammunition is for heists, not hoarding. Maybe if that's what she said, this could be some kind of like space pirates sort of deal, like where you're on a team of things that go around and ransack other ships or something like that. That'd be a really cool angle. It's definitely sci-fi something. This is on a spaceship of some type. Kiefer heard heist too. Okay, yeah.
Interesting enough, Peepo the Pig, the Golden Game Cat, says, wait a sec. Is this an old IP? I swear I've heard these characters. Now, that would be interesting if this is like actually giving us some like way
Maybe.
more of a hint than we thought.
It sounds familiar for sure. I personally, what I've come to the conclusion of is that I don't think it's actually Farpoint 2, unfortunately. But the
No,
good
probably
news
not.
is, just like my dude Space Dennison said, who's always going to be Void Cat to me, he says spiritual successor to Farpoint. And that's kind of the vibes I'm getting here. They talk about shooting. They talk about, in the last clip, they talk about violence. There's aliens. It's like you have traveled the universe in violence or something. And then this talks about like missing ammunition and things like that. So yes, I believe all of these things to be a significant part of the game. However, did you actually examine what the whiteboard is and what it is doing? And if you didn't, let me break it down for you, because it says it's got all of these. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. And then it's talking about wise, cool, effortless, stoic, comedic, young, brave, heroic, cavalier, stealth,
the cast.
aggressive.
Yeah, it's the cast of characters on your space pirate ship. I guarantee you.
It sounds like it could be a couple things. It's definitely different personalities or something. I don't know if it's choices, like actually telling a different choice in a story.
It's at least have to be character types for because at the top left it says wisecracking cool sidekick. And that's not a choice you could make. That's a character, right? So I think they're narrowing down the personalities of this crew that you're on.
Right.
Although one guy is just written with the word comedic, and I'm like, you got to give me something more than that. Stoic? Question mark.
Yeah.
Intimidating. Righteous past.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Like
Gentle
stoic
giant,
and-
dumb.
Yeah.
These are definitely character types. These
are definitely character types.
Yeah.
Now, to me, and it seems like, I don't know if there's gonna be like different classes, but it does seem like it's based around a sci-fi shooter for sure.
Okay, so also Mako brings this up. That thing that's on SoundCloud is titled Aboard the Palinurus or something, right? And Mako knows, apparently, that that's Roman mythology. So there could be something there if anybody knows the story of that myth, if there's maybe some hint there about what the kind of game's going to be. Maybe he was a pirate god. Who knows?
Yeah, he's a navigator or guide. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now. But, in a lot of sci-fi films, they always have, these interesting names for ships, right? And it's... what is the persistence to have? I mean, I get the persistence actually is aptly named, but it doesn't actually help us too much.
Nebuchadnezzar, the Enterprise.
What was Event Horizon? That one was a good one.
I think it was the Event Horizon, wasn't it?
Oh, it's the Event Horizon. Yeah. I was like, oh, that was a good one. What could it have possibly been?
Clever.
Wow, we talked about Event Horizon last week, I think, and I was like, I need to rewatch that, and I guess I should have.
Yeah, it's been a while. I got lucky that I remember that.
Quick shout out to Scott Jestico, PSN Harry Fellow, PSVR Gamecat for life with the $2 donation says, I'm live, by the way, so not future or past. He's right here, right now.
Scott Jestico is live.
Wake up.
Right now.
I'm live, by the way. Tip train all aboard. Choo choo. Thank you so much. Yeah.
But this is exciting, man. Like I said, this game means so much to me. Impulse Gear means so much to me.
Yep.
Man, if just go watch some of my gameplay. If you haven't played Farpoint, I don't know what you're doing. I can understand if you don't have an aim controller, but for me, I bought the aim controller because of Farpoint, and this was literally Farpoint was the game that made me say, "Holy shit, I can see why VR is the future now. This is how the future of VR games can work." Is storytelling and gameplay just like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So before we move on real quick, MRI Gamer says, I love that there's a story and cast of characters, but man, I hope it's not cheesy. So I think the Farpoint, the story in Farpoint proved that it probably won't be. I mean, that was well acted, pretty fairly well written for a VR game narrative, and I think probably one of our favorite narrative experiences, and polished and all that. And a lot of people said, I think I recognize these characters' voices. What that could mean is that they got good voice actors from the industry who are well respected that you might have heard in a game you've played somewhere else.
It's the atmosphere too. It almost sounds like the banter at the beginning of Aliens or something, where they're all getting out. It's just that that typical kind of banter that you would hear in a sci-fi movie as it's building up and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples of tons of stuff. I mean, stuff like with a diverse cast, like Firefly. If you've ever watched that TV series, that was incredible.
Also,
so you can
space pirates, essentially, right?
Yeah, I never actually watched Battlestar. Yeah, dude, I love Space Pirates. That was one of my favorite parts about Final Fantasy 12. Was the Space Pirates. The main characters sucked, but everything else was pretty good.
I don't know if you guys ever played SteamWorld Heist. Anybody seen or heard of SteamWorld Heist?
I've heard of it.
It's a 2D side-scrolling tactical heist game where you are space pirates and you go around doing heists. And I love the game so much, and I really hope that's what it is. I'm getting a little too excited about that concept, but I hope that's what it is.
Man, this is insane, guys. We are in May. They're announcing something in May. This is we are right here on the cusp. We've been waiting to hear what these guys have been up to since, a couple of years now, and this is really exciting to finally find out what it is. I would love if they said, hey, we're sticking with PlayStation, and this is a PSVR 2 title, and they start to announce PSVR 2 titles. That this is them kicking off this year of PSVR 2 announcements. But it might not be the case. We definitely have to be prepared for pretty much any eventuality. I don't know. But do you guys think this could potentially be a PSVR VR 1 title?
I kind of hope not, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because we have a stellar lineup of games this year, and I think we can get some good smaller ones. I don't know, maybe, but I don't know if it's something big. Remember that conversation we had a while back about if you got something huge or want it to be huge, just wait for PSVR 2.
Yeah, it's nice to see Sony making sure that PSVR 1 still has a lot of titles for its kind of swan song year, right? With the End Dreams coming through with Fract, it's that's very cool. They certainly could have made that a PSVR 2 launch title. So it very well could be the same thing. Be hey, we have this amazing aim controller. Impulse Gear was at the helm of creating this thing. It's let's send up PSVR 1 with a bang and give you, the next big first-person shooter, which we don't have enough of, from Impulse Gear, and give that aim controller one last amazing swan song.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. Ian Stambridge says, my money is on Ape Escape VR. Dude, I would love that. I love Ape Escape so much. And the fact that the move game sucked. That was not
This
cool.
definitely, Impulse Gear did say, to kind of wrap things up here, Impulse Gear did say that they were trying something different. So that kind of made me feel like maybe it's not going to be. But when they say different and seeing these clues together, I feel like they're gonna actually try some kind of story-driven thing, or I don't know. There's gonna be something significant about all these characters.
I'm guessing, just from what we know, that the big difference is Farpoint took place in a kind of linear fashion. You went from this place on the world to the next place in the world to the next place in the world, and so on. But if this is a game where you're based on a ship in space, I have to assume that your crew is going from place to place to place. And sometimes in games like that, you can choose which order you want to take it in, right? Or like there's an optional planet you can visit or something like that, where it's not just all progressing on one planet straightforward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a little bit of space jumping around will probably be the case. Varied biomes, all kinds of cool looking stuff. That's what I'm guessing.
We got Looper the Gamecat with the €5 saying, I bought my M controller when Farpoint went on PlayStation Plus this March, and it was worth every euro cent.
Yeah,
that is awesome. I bought my M controller because I was just obsessed with PSVR, and the second they announced it and it was coming with Farpoint, I was like, yep, pre-order, amazing, I want that day one. Had no idea. Sirens on my end. Okay. And then Donatello the Scientist Gamecat with a $10 tip. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Best community ever. Please join Discord if you have not. I 100% agree. We do have an amazing community. If you're looking for other people to play games with, if you're just looking to shoot the shit, that's not just sirens on my end. That's a police, megaphone. Somebody's getting arrested big time outside.
It's you, buddy.
Oh, God, I hope it's not me. I mean, we got to finish up the show fast then. Hurry up before they break through
found
the
those
door.
Kids in your basement. Man.
Whoa. Listen, Pizzagate. Fucking shit, man. So, yes, definitely join the Discord. Love you guys so much. Thank you. Now, we got 2 games to talk about before we wrap up this show. And one of them is out and the other one is coming out, but we've played it. And so let's start with the one that I streamed last night while Dave's gone. And that is, wow, it's called Horror Adventure VR. And it's a very, very generic title. And it's nice that they didn't put a lot of work into the title, because it's sort of like they didn't put a lot of work into the game either, so the title sort of fits the experience. Hopefully this video kicks in soon. But I'm going to tell you guys, it was $15 on the Australian store. I think it's going to be $10 in North America if it's out already. If it's not out already, I haven't checked the store today because I've been kind of sick. But this is... I think it gives off a really good first impression. I got into this thing thinking it was going to be the biggest piece of garbage of all time. And
Same.
yeah, and I jumped a few times. I had a few good scares, and the game says it's randomly generated or procedurally generated, which it does not actually seem to be. It just seems like every time you go through, it takes this room, and sometimes it's here, and sometimes it's here, and just like you go through a door, and sometimes it's a different room. But I think you experience all the same rooms every single time you play. Yeah, after about 20 minutes, everything just fell apart, man. It was just nonstop. It seemed like just Unity assets that were being thrown at you. They would run right through you. There was no damage. You couldn't die. And it was like, as soon as you realized what the developers were doing, what the game was throwing at you, it was just boring. And I was just trudging through for the last half. And yeah, I mean, I'm certainly...
The last half. Do you mean of the stream or of the game? Did you beat
the game? Yeah, it seems so. Okay, so there's only 5 trophies in the entire game, and Mako XL with the Canadian $2 says $2 for Brian Pizzagate. Brian's Pizzagate.
I don't know if you should be supporting these kind of things.
I don't. Nope. Shit's supposed to be funny. I don't know if that's funny. I'm not sure who thinks that's funny. I think it's hilarious.
You think it's
yeah. But it's so the game. The game ended. It said game over, right? But I didn't get all the trophies, and there was one trophy I didn't get for beating the game. And so I got all but one trophy, I think. And so I'm sure if I go through a couple more times, maybe I missed something. Maybe there was a door that I could have gone through that I didn't go through that would have continued the game a little bit longer. But it seemed to me that this game was about an hour long.
Okay. Quick update. MRI Gamer, thank you, says it's on the NA store now for $9.99, as you expected, Brian.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I first saw the beginning of the stream, it looked like Layers of Fear that actually had some lighting and stuff. But then as you started to go on, I was actually okay, it's literally the same thing. But then as you went on, it kind of if you remember Contagion, how the zombies and stuff were kind of lower quality and stuff, they were just assets that once they played out their animation, that's all that they could do. They didn't have any actual AI to them or stuff. So gonna probably skip this one. It looked a little promising at first.
I might throw an hour at it for a stream just to check it out, because it might be fun to play with you guys in chat and stuff. Brian, did you have a good time streaming it, even though it's not a great game?
I had a good time at first because it was definitely scaring me, but then and then when it stopped scaring me, it was fun to make fun of for a little while. But then eventually, I just feel like it's not fun to make fun of anymore. It's just sad, and I'm like, you're just trudging through, and you're just like, oh, this again. And it's like, oh man, it's just and I'm okay with budget cheap horror games, but did you guys ever play?
I don't think I'm okay with those anymore. After Rise of Insanity and some of these other ones,
but see, for the right price, I'm okay with them. Like if Rise of Insanity was $5, if this was $5, I'd be like, hey man, it's $5. It's $5. Yeah. But the fact that I know $10 isn't much more than $5. It's twice as much, but it's still I don't know, man. I just feel like if it's $5, you're like, man, at least I had fun for an hour, or I didn't, and it's over. You can't complain too much.
I got a little excited when I saw your stream title because I hadn't heard of the game at that point, and I was like, Horror Adventure VR. That must be from some weird store, and we didn't expect it. What could this be? Yeah. And I was hoping, above all hope, that it was a sequel to Horror Sense VR. Oh. And I was like, oh, it's a Horror Adventure VR. You get to not just walk down the one pathway. There's a game here now. And I really want that, but we didn't get it. This looks...
Yeah, well, and as you mentioned, we didn't know this was coming out. And thank you, shout out to Hibsy the Gamecat out there, who was in our Discord saying, "Brian, have you seen this?" And I was like, "I've not seen this. I'm totally didn't realize this was a thing, that this was happening." And it was out in Australia, so I just went and bought it. I was like, "Let's fucking stream this thing. Let's see what it's all about." And again, the lighting was okay. For again a cheap horror game, it gives you a flashlight at one point or a couple points. It gives you a digital camera, which is sort of silly. And there's a couple interesting moments, and a couple of the rooms actually look good. I mean, they're probably just and I'm not putting down store-bought Unity assets, but I'm just assuming that it was just just plopped it in, and that's why it looked good. But yeah, by the end, I was just trudging through and just being like, when is this over, man? I'm just not interested in it anymore. I couldn't even make fun of it anymore. I was just like, yeah, I'm definitely...
Stingray X sounds like a Dreams VR game. I've played
so many good ones.
Really
sound like that.
Really good. Yeah, I wish I could say that's true, but the truth is there are Dreams games that are better. Mm-hmm. Lots of them. So
really polished ones.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, there's starting to be some really good stuff. Something Strange in 2206 is incredible.
And that one's kind of short, but if you want something that's as long as this game, there are games that are as long as this game in Dreams that are pretty good. I always bring up Silver Slumber, but that's an hour long at least, and it's good the whole way through.
There's other games. I've got hours and hours. I've got hours and hours in certain games. Ure the Sacred Bells,
oh yeah. Yeah, no, I Uri wasn't even out, I think, when I put together my top 10 PSVR horror Dreams games. And I've still found 10 great ones that are worth playing through if you like horror games. And I think maybe 9 or 8 of them are better than this game. Certainly scarier. Certainly some of them more polished. Definitely check it out. It's one of the things I love about Dreams is discovering the new horror games. And Yuri's The Sacred Bells is great. I really enjoyed that one.
I'll take those community project made horror games, fan project, gamer projects over most of these. Like I said, I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse, but Rise of Insanity and No Way Out, and to me, Layers of Fear, to this one, Horror Adventure.
Sinfeld. Delirium Dream and Sinfeld. That's so good.
Sinfeld rocks, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another one where, if you got a PS5, try it out on your PS5, because it crashed for me a couple times or flipped to flat screen in Sinfeld. When you go to Newman's Room was too much for the system to handle. Well, it's a Seinfeld game. Newman's in it. Big spoilers. Okay.
Hello, Newman.
Yeah. I agree with everyone in the chat saying Scott Jesco at least says Dreams for 20 quid max price. Just buy Dreams. Rather than spend $10 on this, just buy Dreams. Absolutely. Yeah.
Seriously.
So and also there was also a point in this.
Borders too, if you buy Dreams, obviously.
Also play Dream Borders. Oh man, Mako XL says, "What's better, Horror Adventure or Kowloon?" Kowloon is a fantastic game. Absolutely.
Not a question at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
out to Hugh Guyver.
Kowloon's game is Candy Love.
Yeah. Shout out to Hugh Guyver and Cousin Mac with the Australian $2 says, "Cousin says hi. fist bump, pizza, money. Thank you so much. We love you.
Shout out to your cousin, Mac Guyver, and his cousin, Mac and Cheese.
Wow, interesting. It really went down a strange
So
hole.
I know this is a reference to something. Oh, it is a reference to something. It is. Drew said, "I peed the bed." And I was like, "Oh wow, is he having a personal revelation right now?" But that's a Sinfeld reference.
All right, guys, time to move on to our last topic of the day. A game that's coming out, I believe, on the 29th or 28th. Strangely, we've had keys for this game for like a week. We never played these things that early. And it is called Boxed In. Previewed it on PSVR this week. And we got a little bit of gameplay to share with you here, a little bit of first impressions to share with you here. AJ, do you want to kick it off? I saw your name pretty high on the high score list when I was playing today.
Yeah. How many people were on the high score list?
Like
11 when I played. And AJ was number 2 until I got there.
That's not surprising at all.
So yeah, this is a game that uses the DualShock moves or aim controller. I use the aim controller. Of
course.
And it basically puts you in a room. You know, I'm a big fan of games like Intelligent Cube and stuff. I know I'm not a big puzzle guy, but there's a lot of stuff out there that I do enjoy. Yeah, this game basically, there's 2 different modes, but the way the game works is basically connecting blocks of 3 colors together or more. But when you get at least 3 together, they disappear, and it causes the rest of the blocks to fall and stuff and rearrange. Now, there's 2 modes. One is survival mode, which is all of this is happening while you're in this room, and those blocks are slowly coming towards you. And that was my personal favorite mode because it added like some intensity to the gameplay.
Yeah, they'll squish you. They'll squish you against the back wall and you die.
Can you dodge them? If you make a hole in the middle, can you be like?
But if
technically,
you can. But if the blocks hit the back wall, whether you're there or not, you also die.
Oh, okay, you lose either way.
Yeah.
Right. But that is a good idea, Dave.
Survival
action be like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I am a fan of these kind of like match games. Like I like Puyo. I like Tetris. Everybody likes Tetris. Like, would you say mechanically speaking, it was like up there with like fun match games that you've played before that you liked it? Like,
yes and no. Okay. I had a Game Gear that I played a lot of Columns on.
Columns, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I actually thought the gameplay was pretty good here. I don't know, Brian. Do you want to talk about it some, or do you want me to keep going,
there's so much more to the game than we talked about so far. Like, there's so I didn't play the tutorial first. So I thought you just stood in one place, right? I thought you just stood in one place and you just shot all these different things. And there's 2 different things you can do when you shoot the blocks. One, you can shoot a block to change it whatever color is coming out of your gun, right? So then you can match blocks that way by changing a color. Or if you hit, I think it's L2 or something, you can, instead of changing the color, you can place a block of that color and add it to the field. And so it's so hard for me, man. Like it's so hard for me to be like, oh yes, change the color instead of adding a block. But like, if you can change the color, you're way better off because you don't want to be adding blocks to this field if you don't have to. Like, because eventually, at first you're like, this is easy. Everything's falling down. You just got like, seconds to spare with like just watching, going, okay, well, I got so much time on my hands right now, and then like within a minute or 2, you're like, oh shit, and it's all around you, and you're kind of doing this shit.
Yeah, I'm watching your video in the corner right now. It looks like it gets pretty hectic when they're like on you.
Yeah,
like, they get in your face.
Yeah, and then they start sliding back.
Surrounded by these fuckers. Yeah, that looks pretty hectic.
But then I played the tutorial, and I found out you could teleport around the room. I was just playing from one position the whole time, and so and if you can play, play this.
Weird about the teleport, Brian, is that at least for me, I don't know if this was the same for you. This is where I was like, why is this a thing? But you're using the aim controller, the right thumbstick or whatever turns left and right. But then to teleport, like, not only is it not smooth turning, but then the teleport is the directional pad on the aim controller handle, not even the second joystick.
D-pad, right?
So right away I was just like,
it's silly.
Why?
It's silly. These guys have never played name game before, but it still works. It still works perfectly.
It does work. It does work.
Because you're holding down the D-pad and then you're just kind of like pointing at where you want to teleport. Now this gets to be really important, I think, in other game modes, because what you're seeing for most of this video is the blocks are coming from the back wall and coming at you and then squishing you against the back wall. You can also play this in two other ways. The survival mode you can play in two other ways. You can either play on the ground with the blocks coming down from the ceiling, which means your neck's going to be sore in like a minute because the whole time you're like, doom, 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 doom. It's really difficult. But the one that is really intriguing is you're standing on the blocks and the blocks are raising you to the ceiling. You have to teleport in that mode. You have to be bouncing around and being like, because you're shooting at the ground and like there'll be big holes in the ground because you got rid of a whole bunch of blocks. Yeah, so you have to like get out of the hole or create matches to make the hole bigger.
That should be like the default mode because like to me the concept of standing on top of like a steadily set of rising Tetris pieces and trying to get them out from the top and being like, oh fuck, oh there's a hole there that I could accidentally fall in. I don't want to do that. Right. But maybe I do need to jump down the hole so I can clear this stack out. Like that sounds pretty engaging.
It is pretty engaging. Cool. And gravity works the way you think it would too. Like it's gravity works differently. Like when the blocks are coming from the back wall, if you add a block in the middle of the wall, it'll fall to the ground.
It'll fall down.
But when you're shooting at the ceiling, it's not going to fall to the ground or just fall on you. That'd be ridiculous. So it stays where you put it. So all these different modes actually add a little bit of variety to what happens. AJ, do you want to explain how solitaire works? The other mode?
Solitaire is more like that Zen mode, peaceful mode kind of thing where you're just basically there to clear out the blocks, but they're not coming at you. There is no like intense thing. It's just a game of put you in a room with these things and you just match them until you're done and it says complete. And I think you can get like higher scores and stuff, but it's typically just like it seemed to me like it was just one level. I don't know if you got more than that.
Yeah, that's all it seemed to be, which was disappointing because it seemed like, clear out this room in as few moves as possible. And I would have loved if it was like, okay, you did it, here's your score, and now here's a more complicated one to clear out. And I really hope that they consider adding to the game for that.
If you guys ever played Cosmic Smash, maybe Brian, you know this one. Cosmic Smash, a Dreamcast game, came out only in Japan. Look up Cosmic Smash. It's a similar kind of, it's like a block breaker game more than this. It's not a matching game as much. But
I'm not familiar with this.
Levels, there's like branching paths. There's a lot of different rooms. They're different a lot of the time. And it does give you an increasing challenge and the layout of the room changes. And so like you're playing the same puzzle just in different places as you go through. And so I would love something like that. Yeah, it sounds like if it's just in one environment, that could get old pretty quick. But people asked in chat, how much does this cost? And that's an important thing. It's like $5-6, right? Like it's gonna be super cheap.
It's like $5 or $6. I think it's $5 on Steam. So
that's the thing. Yeah, like I would hope that this is $5 or less because it seems a little incomplete still. It seems like it is missing some things, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be trash. I'm not going to lie. but
I thought it would be too. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play it. I had a weird bug where my controllers weren't registering. Yeah. But they have plenty of time to work on. I'll tell them. I'll report it to them. They'll fix it.
I'm still just as for somebody that is dying for like a first-person intelligent cube or something in VR. It was nice to get a little tiny scratch of that itch, like just a little. But it has a lot of it needs to evolve a good bit and stuff for me still. But it was better than I was expecting. I'll give it some credit.
Yeah,
I would commission someone to make Intelligent Cube in Dreams VR. I would pay you money to do that, or I'd pay you money to teach me how to do it.
Or you can go play. Time for that. I see War Garble is in the chat. I played his second. He's got the second level out on Whiplash. VR. I played it. It's a nice surprise. I know Dave would absolutely love it.
I still need to get back in there. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm sorry, Garble. I meant to try that out as soon as you said it, and then I forgot.
I feel like that the second level is meant for Dave.
Okay. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, but I actually...
you're not talking about the second level with the bouncing cactus guys, right?
Yes.
Okay, I love that level.
He finished
I love that level. Yeah,
There's more to it. It's actually pretty long too. It's like I think it was over 5 minutes. Seemed longer than the first level.
Also, he says Vib Ribbon VR, which yes, thank you, please. Absolutely do it.
Definitely. Yeah, but guys, just as far as Boxton goes, I actually had a lot of fun. It seemed super simple at first, and I was like, or actually even when it's over, it seemed like developers didn't exactly know what version of the game they thought was best, so they just let you play it in all versions. Like, there's even another mode that we didn't talk about where it's like instead of blocks disappearing when you get 3 in a row, they disappear when you create a box of 4, and so it's like, well, it was. I'll say this about it. The second I died, I would just immediately started over. And then I would immediately start over. I am fucking sick today, right? I was not feeling good all day long. Headache, sore, just didn't want to put the headset on at all. And once I was in, I was in. And I had a lot of fun. If this is a $5 game, then if they add more, especially if they add more levels to the solitaire mode, I really enjoyed it. So.
Well, and I mean, the thing is, like, with a game like this, it might not look that crazy on a video. It might be like, okay, this looks really cheap.
It doesn't look crazy in the game.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Nobody played the original Tetris because the graphics were so good. Like,
right.
That's not the reason you play a game like that. You get the mechanic down and you're like, I like this puzzle. I want to play this game. And a lot of times those puzzle games are very minimal, very not over the top graphically. I mean, Tetris Effect is the first one I can think of where I even thought about the graphics in a Tetris game.
This doesn't strike me as a money-making kind of game. This strikes me as hey, this is my first attempt at a VR game.
And it is, by the way, I think, right? We should say that. This is this guy's first swing at a VR game ever.
Is it?
He hasn't made one before. I think
Yeah.
I thought it, yeah.
And while it technically is something that you could probably just make in dreams, like, I appreciate it. I feel like this is like one of those where it's like, stick with it, dude. Like, it's solid. Like, it's not bad. But it's not going to blow anybody away either, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just kind of maybe just be a little side fun. But if that's his first project, then yeah, that we've seen where developers come from with their first VR project and how much they have the opportunity to evolve and stuff. And yeah, to me, it's like I want to be respectful and kind because I feel like this is an early somebody's first project, and it's not going to get a bunch of attention or make any money, but it's like a good accomplishment for this person.
Agreed.
So Distracted Gamecat has called out something that I think we've all noticed for the past few months. AJ has definitely been ride or dying for a game genre he vows to hate lately. LOL. Because you've been sticking up for puzzle games like crazy these days. You're like, I know it's a puzzle game, but hear me out, guys. I really like it. And like,
VR has some
I hear
good
that
puzzle
out of
games, man.
out of your mouth all the time. So,
VR
yeah.
has some good puzzle games or puzzle mechanics.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys, and that brings us to the very last segment of the show. Video game 20 questions. It is PSVR 20 questions. Thank you, GameScoop. We love you. AJ, you're the host of the show today. Do you have a game picked out?
Yeah, I got this. Let's do this.
All right, here. I'm gonna set a short timer for us. 10 minutes was way too long last time, so I'm going to set a 6-minute timer and see how that works for us today. Dave and I will have 6 minutes along with the chat. Please, guys, in the chat, shout out your thoughts, questions you think we should ask, or game or answers to what game you think he's thinking of.
Yeah.
And
so you have publicly vowed to make it not too obscure. So I just want to remind you of that, AJ.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to set a 6-minute timer starting, and don't forget, if Dave or I guess it wrong, we lose. We're gonna test the
waters here, Dave.
Okay,
we're gonna see what happens. Okay.
Oh, we're on.
We're on.
Does it support the Move controllers? This game?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a PSVR exclusive? Is it a PlayStation exclusive? I should ask. Is that a better question? No, it's not.
No,
okay.
It's not. Okay, that narrows it down a little bit, but it doesn't give me any good ideas yet. People are already guessing shit. It's like Stardust Odyssey Census. It's like, come on, slow down a second. Jesus Christ.
Far point.
No, hey man, that's cool.
That's a good guess.
Is it a horror game?
No.
Okay.
Is it?
So you got to keep track of how many we're guessing.
You're at 3.
Okay.
Is it a shooter?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That eliminates a lot.
Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
They're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. I think.
5.
Yeah.
Was this a launch title, or also did it come out in the first year of the PlayStation VR headset? Launch title
Which
or
question
within?
is, you can't put two
Okay, did it
questions.
come within the first year of the headset?
That's how you should have
No.
phrased it. Yeah.
No. Okay.
It didn't. It didn't. Okay.
Not an early game.
Is it? Here's one. Is it? Wait. Does it retail for over $20?
Good question.
Before a sale. And if this one you can look up if you need to look it up. I don't care.
I'm gonna say no.
It's not over $20. It's sub
No.
$20. Okay, got it.
Is this game considered relaxing?
Yes.
Oh. How many questions are we up to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Is this a game that only J Meow likes?
No.
I was thinking perfect.
That
for a
rules
minute
out perfect.
yeah,
Um,
that's
Is there an actual game here, or is it mostly about meditation and relaxation?
There's a game.
Okay.
Does it involve fish?
I knew I
Got
had this.
him.
I had
Got
this.
him.
Wait,
No, chat helped me out with that
Yeah,
one.
Nice.
I saw Mark.
I was like, oh man.
nice.
Here
I
we go.
appreciate the
Brian,
chat,
you
but this
wanna
was
guess it?
this was in my head. Well, let's
What?
hold on.
That's not. Wait, hold on. Wait.
Well, let's-
No, that's not it. Yet.
Let's
No,
make sure. Let's
We can
wait.
keep going.
Exactly. We got to make sure we get it right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you
It's
in a
adventure.
Are you in a rowboat in this game?
Yes.
Has this game added new areas after launch?
Yes.
Is it catch and release?
Yes.
Yes.
Good job.
Ding, ding.
With 3 minutes to spare, 6 minutes apparently is a great amount of
Next
time to play
time-
this game.
Next time we can get away with 4 minutes, I bet you.
Let's go with 5. We'll knock it down, but 5 will be fine.
Let's challenge ourselves.
Thank you guys in the chat for helping out with us. Really appreciate it. And guys, I think we're definitely over our time for the day, so we'll definitely we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to bed. It's gonna be amazing. Maybe there'll be some pizza involved. God, I hope so. Nothing better than bed and pizza. Well, maybe something, but whatever. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Dave. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Also, subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. These guys are doing great streams on their channels. Dave apparently is doing whatever he wants, and I love it, man, because it adds some variety
Yes,
to the mix.
that is my new thing.
Returnal,
Whatever
right?
I feel like.
Yeah.
Returnal.
Oh, dude,
I probably won't stream it again tonight, but I'm going to play it again right after this, I think. So, Cypher, you said you wanted to get in a party chat. If anybody's playing Returnal, hit me up. Let's get in a party chat, because I love sharing the stories of how we all die as we die. It's very fun.
I finally ordered it with Amazon Bucks, so technically free, and it's coming tomorrow. I hope it's coming early in the day tomorrow, so I get a chance to play it before anything happens. And I'm excited to check it out. But guys, don't forget to join our Discord. AJ, what do you got, man?
I was
He's
gonna say
pointing
join
down
the
at the
Discord.
Discord.
It's got our join the Discord. It's gonna have PlayStation integration within a year. So,
Right? We got ahead of the game. Thank you,
Yes.
Brody, for posting the link, and thank you, Google Mods, for not deleting it.
Yeah, I was
Get
going to
a head
say,
start
yeah,
as well.
Google's got a problem with us.
Brian,
can I
even
say it? Can I
even
say
more
it?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. What?
Because distracted, the game cat wants me to cue the cat, Brian. Because I want to say goodbye to Mark Pringlesleaf. Great guest there. Although I should have played along and been like, there's more games. There's way more fishing leagues. So should have not given up so easy. You stay frosty. Flame Hat the Game Cat says bye cats later, dude. Daniel Williams says RE8 PSVR 1.
Yes.
The dream is dead. No, it's PSVR 2.
PSVR 2. PSVR 2. Don't play it on the
Time
flat
to
screen.
play.
Hang out with us. We're all going
Saints
down
of Grey
together.
Matter. Thanks so much, Billiam Drew VR, War Garble 2, Fish Laser, Secrets of
Fish
Goodness,
Laser.
Man, Peter Cordorba, Daniel Williams, Bob Zarkov, the Underground, James Scott in the house. Hard to get. Good to see you, Cypher 36. Scott Jescopia said Harry Fell, PCR Game Cat for Life. $5, $2. Justin Cassidy.
Do I have 5 from Steve Gamecat? I have 5 from 10,000. Do I have? I think we got a 10 from Chase Grant. Hugh Gabba with the 5. Hugh Gabba with the 5.
He's a bullion cat. So
I didn't know Skibby was here. What's up, Skibby?
004, the License Meow Game Cat. What up, Skibby? Stingray X, Decepticon. Oh yeah, Nihilus Ride the Game Tree Lion. Yeah, what up, Skibby? Good to see you, man. Onikaze had a good guess at FF15 fishing. I could have chosen that one. For sure.
Definitely a good
Live
choice.
Shadows, thank you so much for joining. Meow Meow the Gamer Cat, J Meow, Ian Stanbridge, got Cosmo, Bogey Cat Productions, Farpoint for Life, dude. Who else we got here? Ben Dawson. Rody the Game Cat, Trusty Mods in the house. You guys have a wonderful night. Blue Chew the Underground Game Cat, Peepo the Pig, the Golden Game Cat. He's now the Golden Game Cat. Darkwing Chuck the Game Quack. Darkwing Chuck. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful night. Guys, on fist bump to you.
Guys, real quick, I want to give a final shout out to somebody who's watching the show later, who always emails me with the timestamps the day after the show goes up. And that's Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry. We need to give that dude a lot more credit because some people don't want to watch the whole show, and I fucking understand that, but I don't have time to go through and do any timestamps. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry emails me the timestamps every single time we do a show, and he's the reason that there's timestamps on these shows. So thank you very